Hi there and welcome to this video. I switched over from the D850 DSLR to the Z series mirrorless cameras about 9 months ago now, and as I've gone along I've made a number of videos articulating and giving you a view of what my thoughts were around the pros and cons of that switch. And as I've gone along, I've had to adapt my shooting style and some of the kit I'm using. I thought it was a good time to perhaps pick 5 small, relatively low cost items of kit that I found particularly useful in that transition from DSLRs to mirrorless cameras. They're all relatively low cost. I think the most expensive one is about £150 here in the UK, probably about $150 in the US, so it's not big pieces of kit, but they have had a disproportionate impact for various reasons on my shooting style and what I can get out of my Z series. And I'll give you a quick insight into each of them and why I think they're particularly useful. There are links below. They are affiliate links, but none of this kit has been provided free of charge. I have paid for it all myself out of my own pocket, and therefore I think it's really useful pieces of kit that I've focused on. So the first piece of kit is the Rode Wireless Go mic. So the first piece of kit is the most expensive I'm going to look at, and is the Rode Wireless Go mic system. One of the benefits of the Z series mirrorless cameras is its video capability, and I've been using it a lot more to capture these kind of videos throughout the year. One of the things, if you're capturing video, that is really important is sound quality, and the mics on the Z series, whilst they're okay, they do capture a lot of other noise, and they're not the best quality. If you really want to notch up your audio, you've really got to think about off-camera mics. Now, I was using the Rode video mic, which was really useful because it just plugged into the camera. It had no need for batteries. It worked off the camera battery, and it gave a reasonable quality. However, sometimes actually having a lav mic and a wireless connection is really useful. And this is where the Rode Wireless Go fits in. It's a really small mic system, it's lightweight, it's got rechargeable batteries, and you can plug a lav mic into it, or you can use the mic that's built into the transmitter as well. And it's great on the go. It really works with the Z series. One of the benefits I was looking for from the Z series versus the DSLRs was size and weight, and the Rode Wireless Go really fits into that because it fits into a very small pouch that can just slot into your camera bag. I can use it not only with my Z series, I can use it with my iPhone if I've got an adapter, and I can use it with my Osmo Action Go. So it really is a versatile piece of kit that actually I always carry with me in my camera bag when I'm traveling. And as I said, for all those reasons, it's something I've bought in the last year. It is at the more expensive end of what we're looking at today, at about £150, $150, but it's well worth the money in my opinion, for all the versatility it gives you and the quality of sound. The batteries last for about 7 hours, and therefore you don't really have to recharge during the day, and you can leave it turned on and quickly use it. So a real step forward in capability there. So the second thing I'm going to look at is the variable ND filter I bought from Calumet during the year. In the past I've used Lee filters. I've used their big stopper, their little stopper for stills, and I still use those. But when shooting video, the ability to adjust the level of neutral density you want in order to capture and keep your shutter speed in that sweet spot of twice the frame rate is really important. And I was worried when I looked at variable ND filters, because when you look at a lot of reviews, a lot of them have a problem with the X banding at the higher end of the neutral density scale. I went into Wex in London and had a go with the Calumet neutral density filter. It was on offer when I bought it, so it was about £80 I think. Full price was around about 140 for an 82mm filter that I bought. But I didn't see that X banding on this filter, and I've used it a number of times on various videos, and I haven't seen that X banding come to fruition in any situations at any point on the ND. scale of that filter, which is really good. Because it's quite compact, you don't need a filter holder. I bought the 82mm because that's the largest size lens I've got. I've also got some step down rings that I can use to bring this down from 82mm to 72 or 62 and use it on other lenses as well. So I can carry one variable ND filter and I can use it, and I've used it for stills as well as video, and I get good results as well. There are situations where I go back to my Lee filters, the big stopper and the little stopper as well, if I know I'm going to be specifically doing long exposure shots. But this variable ND filter, for the price, I think is really good value. And again, I can just slot it into my kit bag and it will cover stills and video photography at the same time. So the third piece of kit is around charging, and I'll put a link to my video comparing the different chargers that I've got, but the one that really I keep reaching for is this Nightcore UNK2 charger. It has the capability to charge an EL15 battery on both sides. However, if you're charging two batteries, it does halve the power going into each battery, and therefore it takes longer to charge the batteries. It has a great LCD which shows you the rate at which the batteries are charging. It has a USB, so it plugs into a USB charger, and it's very light, very small, very compact. So again, it plays to that goal that I had of when I was moving to the mirrorless cameras to not necessarily reduce my weight of my bag, but also the size is the most important. And this is a really small charger. It's very lightweight and it does charge at a reasonable rate, and you can charge two batteries at the same time. It cost about £30 here in the UK, so it's not a high priced item, but it's another one that I can just slot in my bag and carry with me at all times. And I can charge from a battery pack or a USB charger. So it gives that versatility of perhaps putting one battery on here, plugging it into a battery pack and leaving it recharging whilst I'm using another battery in the camera. So the next item on the list is slightly different. It's not directly related to the camera and the camera system. It's indirectly related, but nonetheless really important. I've been doing quite a lot of post-processing on the go and using my MacBook Pro to perhaps process short videos, perhaps do some still image processing using Lightroom or Photoshop. And when I'm out on the road, I have to use the keyboard, and therefore you rely a lot more on keyboard shortcuts when you're doing post-processing. And this little keyboard overlay called Editor's Keys is a really useful help in using those shortcuts if you don't perhaps use them as much when you're using a desktop. This is a latex keypad cover. It just lays on top of your keyboard. This one's for my MacBook Pro and is for Adobe Premiere Pro, so for when I'm doing video post-processing. They also make them for Lightroom and for Photoshop, and they cost about £30, just under £30. You can get them either directly from Editor's Keys or from Amazon. But it's really useful for speeding up post-processing when you're on the go and you're not perhaps using a mouse or a loop deck to make those adjustments. So you're relying very heavily on keyboard shortcuts. It also provides a little bit of protection for your MacBook keyboard. It stops pieces of dust going down in between, or perhaps if you spill some liquid on it, it gives it a little bit extra protection. You can buy them for different keyboards and different keyboard configurations. They also do some standalone keyboards with coloured keys on to help you with your editing as well. So worth a look. So this final piece of kit again is really useful. One of the challenges with mirrorless cameras, because you've got a larger opening and the sensor is not protected by a mirror, what a lot of people are saying, and myself included, is that dust becomes slightly a bigger problem for you. And I've done a video on how to clean your sensor, but you will have to get used to cleaning your sensor more often. And to do that, the easiest thing I've found are these little sensor swabs. This is a full frame sensor swab, so it's designed to be the right size for a full frame camera, but you can buy them for crop sensor cameras as well. And they cost about 10 to 15 pounds in a pack of probably about 12 with some cleaning solution. But you can carry them in your bag. I've got enough that I've got them in all my bags so I never forget them. But it allows you to quickly either do a dry clean of the sensor or using the liquid to do a wet clean if you've got something a bit more stubborn on the sensor. But it is invaluable, and as I say, you have to get used to cleaning your sensor more often. I've got into the habit of cleaning my sensor before I travel and then carrying some of these swabs with me so I can quickly clean it in a hotel room or somewhere where I'm protected from too much dust getting in, so I can keep the sensor without too many dust spots on it that I have to then deal with in post-production. So hopefully this quick canter through 5 small pieces of kit that I'm finding particularly useful for my Z series mirrorless cameras is really useful for you. What are you finding? Which pieces of kit are you finding invaluable with your transition from perhaps DSLR to mirrorless, or perhaps you find invaluable for mirrorless or DSLRs? Think of those things that are, you know, sort of $150 or lower, or down at that $30 sort of sweet spot, £30 if you're here in the UK. Drop a comment below. What are you finding that is invaluable to you? I hope you found this video useful. If you did, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified of future videos. And I look forward to seeing you on future videos.